At Glasgow Green. Oh. Woo! So, just to give you an idea, bit of the atmosphere, turnout.
Well, hello, Glasgow! Always wanted to say that. This is awesome. Thank you so much for turning up on this absolutely glorious day. The goddess is shining on us. We've got an array of speakers that will be kind of talking about women's rights today, why the government's not listening to us, why we actually have to take to the streets, and we claim each corner as we can so that everyone can actually understand what is actually going on. So the reason that we actually are here today was we were due to be outside kind of protesting and supporting on the case of Marion Miller, which has unfortunately been delayed until middle of next month. So however, I'm just going to bring Marion on just to say hello to you all, and then we'll go into speeches. If I could just remind everyone it is still COVID. We do have hand gels to the back of us. If you see anyone with a high vis, we carry hand gels on us and masks, so please be aware. So on that note, I'd like to pass you over to Miss Marion Miller.
I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who's came here today, and remind you all that women won't waste, and we really need to make a difference. Every one of us need to shout as loud as we can, or we won't make any difference. Enjoy your day and enjoy the speakers. Thank you.
Right, just before we start, there's many people that have said they would like to speak today, so if that's the case, could you come and join me to the left-hand side? Right, first of all, I would like to ask to the mic Miss Lynn Anderson.
Thanks very much. I'm Lynn Anderson.
I want to speak, but I'm
Thanks for being
filming.
here to support my friend Marion Miller.
I will speak,
Especially
but
those
just...
of you who are not local. We won't forget your efforts. I've got nothing profound to offer you today. The fact that you're here, you already get it. Frankly, I'm also sick of listening to myself talking about the dismantling of our rights. What I did want to ask you today was to make a wee bit of extra effort in real life to talk to people about this. I was at a wedding last week, and of course I took the opportunity to talk to people about what Marion's going through. This government's lack of transparency, about them even changing the definition of the word woman, amongst other attacks on their hard-won rights. Very few women there at that event knew
So
about
there's
any of
threats
this.
from TRAs to turn up.
We
But
absolutely need to get the information from social
Can't see
media
any.
to the general public. Although I'm not sure the general public are quite ready for being
7X. Yeah.
Start gently.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
good.
asking you,
Doing a live
have
stream.
already speak to friends, family about this. Speak to somebody at the school gates.
Yeah.
Join your parent council, your community council. Talk to somebody at the bus stop, the train station, the hairdressers, the garage, anywhere and everywhere. Next May, we've got the local authority elections here. Tell candidates you won't vote for them if they won't protect women and children. Vote for anyone that will. Unfortunately, most of our politicians are cowards, and we really need them to get off the fence. If they find us fine, they'll get your vote. I know it's scary to speak out. I know what it is to be bullied and smeared in the papers and lied about. What's happening to Marion could be any one of us. Any one of us.
Okay. Hello. dog. Good doggy there.
Enough. Enough. The witches have given me amazing support during some of the darkest times. I'd like to thank everybody that got in touch. While I'm talking about amazing women, please give whatever money you can to 4 women in Murray, Blackburn, Mackenzie. Thanks.
Good afternoon, witches. I'm Caroline McAllister, and I want to welcome you all to Glasgow, the city of sedition. Strong women and a few ball bags, but not as many as Stirling. Back in April 1872, Glasgow Green hosted its first ever suffragette meeting. And here we are, almost a century and a half later. Women are still having to fight for our rights. It's great to see so many here today. It's a testament to the huge injustice that's been inflicted upon our own Scottish witch, Marion Miller.
This is Kate Harris, LGBT Alliance.
We all know why this is happening. Our police
The
force
Indomitable
has been
Rosie Parker,
politicised.
Killy J. Kane.
It would seem it's no longer policing by consent. It's the underlying philosophy in our country.
Absolutely, man.
And no longer are prosecutions pursued because they are in the public interest. Because how is pursuing a woman for tweets threatening her and her children with social services interventions in the public interest?
Hello.
It's only a few years ago that Nicola Sturgeon stood in this city. Stood in this city, less than 2 miles from this spot, and launched the original SNP Women's Pledge. She vowed, as Scotland's First Minister, to protect women and girls, using the Parliament's legislative powers to ensure parity of esteem was achieved, and women and girls would be treated with dignity and respect. Our safety was her priority, she told us. I'm sure Joanna Cherry, Joan McAlpin, and many other women threatened would have something to say about that. Protesting the harassment and intimidation of a woman whose alleged crime is a few tweets, and one of them being a picture of suffragette ribbons. Who knew hateful haberdashery was a crime heinous enough to deploy valuable and scarce police resources? Welcome to McGilliad. I want to take this opportunity to remind the Scottish Government that our foremothers fought hard and sacrificed much for our rights. We are the custodians of those rights. It is our duty to protect them for the girls and young women coming behind us. And protect them we will. Women have a long history of challenging injustice. No amount of misogynistic legislation will stop us. So please, pay heed to Maya Forstarter's words. Be brave, because we can't afford not to be. We are all Marion Miller, and women want peace.
Hi folks, my name's Vivian anyway, and it's Lynn Anderson's fault I'm here today. Okay, I'm going to talk to you about so, this song means so much to me.
We can't hear you!
Turn it up!
Can you hear me now?
Yes!
Right, okay, so this song Just to reiterate, I went to school at the other side of that fence in the 70s, and we were here talking about women's rights. I cannot believe that Marion Miller is going through what she's going through in Scotland today because she's a woman. Shame on the Scottish government. Because I'm the oldest, here's a history lesson, right? Scotland were proud that we were forefront of the Enlightenment. Glasgow was wore it like a badge, like we're wearing today, that we did for workers' rights, what we did for women, and if people don't know Glasgow, was a woman called Mary Barber, who just on the south side of this river fought for fairness for primarily women, but to keep their houses. This is not about just women standing in a corner shouting. This is about women being integral to our society and being utterly marginalised and bullied into potential submission. Today's not submission. So, we're all Marion Miller here today, that's already been said. I've never met Marion, but today I've got a privilege that I'm going to do that. But we're all here, we all need to take that message that you've heard and tell everyone you know about what is going on. I'm a Glaswegian and I've literally just off a ferry an hour and a half ago from Butte. And my friend, who is a real women's rights activist, she would consider herself such, didn't know this was going on. But she made me a corsage from her garden this morning. And this is so important that we're here. We go out, we tell people what's going on, and Marion, we've got your back as long as you need us. For Women Scotland are an amazing organisation, so you back them up as much as I will. So it's been a privilege to be invited to be here today. Thank you, folks, and keep telling this story. Thanks.
Hi everyone, I'm Lisa Keogh. Can everyone hear me? Yeah. I'm Lisa Keogh. I'm here to stand with Marion today. I was at Aberdeen University and there was a target put on my back because I stated a biological fact that women have vaginas. And so I think that just shows how far this has gone. It's in universities, you're not allowed to state biological facts. We've got no free speech and women don't have the right to use what free speech they don't have. I don't know what else to say. Just that women have got vaginas. Testing. Yes, you can hear me. Well, isn't this just beautiful? Look at all these. Oh, love these. Right. We're all here, sisters, supporting sisters. Well, I am a Scottish witch. And I'm going to tell you about my peak moments. That wasn't that long ago, actually. But my peak was going into JKR's thread and thinking, what has she done? What she said that's brought such vile threats to the fore? And I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. What I read, because I admit I was completely ignorant of gender ideology. I decided to educate myself. And so I fell down the rabbit hole of, I read about queer theory, the cotton ceiling, puberty blockers, double vasectomies on children, too young to get a tattoo, the money that the pharmaceutical companies were making, it was phenomenal. And I spent the next few weeks going about my house and my family were demented because all you could hear out of me was, what the fuck? What the fuck? For 2 weeks, that's all you got out of me. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, I was shocked and in a state of unbelief. And I was also shocked that the SNP and our First Minister endorsed this ideology. And I was bitterly disappointed as an SNP member and a supporter of the First Minister, was, may I add. I was completely lost and politically homeless, and I felt absolutely hopeless. I couldn't believe this. And then I found my beloved witches. Yes, love them to bits. And through them I found the League of Difficult Women, otherwise known as For Women Scotland. And MBM as well. Amazing work. We've lost without them, so please support them whenever you can. And then I found Magdalene. Whoa, what a woman. What a woman.
More dogs.
Hello. Amazing.
Some lovely dogs here.
So it's Marion. My
Good doggies, isn't it?
You know I stand with you always. It's to the Scottish thing. I love you, Marion. And there's one Scottish bitch who can't do today, and it's this bitch. And she's going to be women won't teach. But we all know her. So this kit, this view, you on the view. It's all made the shopping trip. Thank you.
Helen Steele, Libel hero. Just tell me to say that. Some more people still arriving, you can see over here.
Hi, I'm Kate from Peak Prison Single Sex. So there are two people here who don't know what we do. We campaign for the sex-based rights of women in prison to single-sex accommodation and same-sex searching. Women's prisons in Scotland are now run as mixed-sex facilities. The 2014 Scottish Prison Service policy regarding transgender prisoners allows males to be housed in women's prisons on the basis of their gender identity alone. We know that those male prisoners who have been held in women's prisons include those convicted of murder and torture, so males with the most serious violent convictions. Women in prison are entitled to single-sex services for the same reasons that all women are: dignity, privacy and safety. When you factor in the vulnerability of women in prison, the fact that males are held with them is, to my mind, absolutely barbaric. A recent study published in Lancet Psychiatry found that almost 80% of women in Scottish prisons had experienced a significant head injury. Some had experienced multiple. The majority of these have been caused by a man. Women in prison are vulnerable and traumatised. Yet, the Scottish Prison Service took no account of the needs of women when developing their policy. No women in prison were consulted. No organisations representing the interests of women in prison were consulted. Sex was not mentioned as a relevant factor. By contrast, transgender prisoners and organisations were very well represented. In fact, and this is something that MBM found out through a FOIA they asked in 2018, we now know that the policy was written by James Morton of Scottish Trans Alliance.
Shame on you! Shame on you!
Shame on her!
This policy is up for review. Please write to your MSP asking them to ensure that this time the interests of women in prison are included. Please write to them to ask them to commit to ending this unofficial punishment that's levied against female offenders and to make prison single sex. Thank you.
Afternoon everyone, can everyone hear me? Welcome to Glasgow, and the city that historically will not waste. You're in the city of Mary Barber, who led her bunch of women warriors against rent strikes and historical injustice suffered by women in the city, and the city has not changed. So for all of you visitors on your shopping trip, thank you very much for coming here today. I want to talk to you about gaslighting. I want to talk to you about when be kind started meaning be quiet, and when it only started meaning that when we started talking to women. why we have to start having these conversations with our daughters and nieces about fighting for rights we already fought for and won. We're in a crazy place. I didn't write this speech, well, I kind of did, but I'm going to do it. And they would say that it's so much more relevant than me. And I tried to my best not to sound angry, but I am fucking angry. And I'm angry that women are being forced to that place where we always know we're being kind and subjugating what you already know. We were in a place where we're treating facts. Facts are to be ignored, but feelings are to be accepted as facts. I know what the biological reality of being a woman is. I live with it every single day, as we do, as a perimenopausal woman. I don't feel like a woman. My reality is defined by my sex, as it is in one of us in here. Nobody needs to be so sexy. You up for it. You also do up for it.
You've got some already. Hi, can we get some stickers? Thank you.
Thank you. Stickers bring happiness. Thank you.
I don't have any different words or answers, but what I do see right here is women who are organising themselves, who are speaking to each other, who are standing up against this mission creep through all of our institutions, our schools, our hospitals, our prisons. We have had this conversation about women, about what it means to be women. And women are not allowed to join in. You're not allowed to be say how we actually do. No more. So yes, we can.
Beautiful atmosphere out, as you can see. Couple of coppers over here. There's been some threats from trans right activists of coming down and making a scene, but I've not seen anything so far. Some kids over there jamming. I don't think they know what the hell's going on over here.
Right, what a turnout.
You found me?
Yes, do you mind? Do you mind if I film you? I'm just going around filming the crowd and conversations, but I'll move on. No worries.
Right, you probably answer, I'm banned from Medium. I'm banned from Medium. Blocked by Stonewall. Stonewall. Right, Stonewall. Glad. All of them absolutely homophobic. If you're a real lesbian, they hate you. Okay. I'm banned not because I'm hateful or abusive, I'm a retired probation officer, but I am banned. I'm labelled as a hateful conduct, everything, okay? It's not that I'm hateful, I am criticising transgender rights. Because I believe, I'm banned because I believe in basic biological truths. Yeah? Yes. Men can never be women, and women can never be men. Women can never be men and women. Women are being persecuted in their own biological truths and more have to be declared by institutions such as the police, CPS, that have been corrupted by Stonewall law and transgender policy capture. Women who believe in biology are handed out work, threatened, and many of us have received death threats. Now, attempts to make a plea being made by the state, not the society.
I'm just going to come in here because I'm a little bit hot. It's a little bit hot today.
Listen, I've got a secret. Your anger can fuel the current women's rights movement. Make your anger work for you and our movement. Make your anger work. Join women-only grassroots groups in your areas, yeah? When we join other women and small groups join other small groups, we become a force to be reckoned with.
As the feminists and the residents are in Holbeck, managed approach, which is now over. Thanks to feminists and residents working together. Yeah? When we join groups, we're not just putting a single finger up to the man. Yeah, putting a fucking fist up. Join groups that centre women and girls in their membership and have women-focused objectives. War is being waged. Do we roll over and pretend it's not happening, or do we get active? Active, active, active. We stand with you, Marion Miller, for we are all flipping Marion Miller. If this can happen to Marion Miller, this can happen to you, it can happen to you when you grow up, it can happen to you, and it can certainly happen to me because they're trying it all the time. Right, that's about it. Right. Well, I've been told professionally how to pronounce this word because I am from England. Right. Women won't wish. 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 Thank you. You're all fucking warriors.
What's up, women? Come on, let's do that again. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Alison Dowling, and I am an elected politician. You'll be glad to know I have no prepared speech. I don't intend to speak long. I just wanted to add to the comments today. In Scotland, next May, we have the local elections. I cannot impress upon you enough of the importance to call out your local elected representative of whichever party you support and ask the question, what is a woman? Ask the question, do you believe that sex is important in law and in life? And if they cannot answer that question honestly, then I will leave that the follow-up action to yourselves. No one deserves a vote. You have to earn it. And if you are telling women as an elected politician at whatever level you work, at whatever party you belong to, or of none, that you can't, oh sorry, I've just spotted green light. Sorry, that was a total fangirl moment there. That man has done more than any other human being, other than for women in Scotland, to take the public face for this fight. So I'm just going to wrap this up. I would ask for some understanding on your part, because it's very, very difficult for people who are in the public eye, who are politicians, who do want to remain within a party, even when we have serious disagreements in policy, and this will clearly be one, but it doesn't mean that you necessarily want to abandon every other principle that drew you to that party. And sometimes it is more effective to fight for your beliefs and your principles from within a structure than to be walking over to the right side. So when pressure inside...
Women, take over the world quickly.
But I would ask you for a little bit of understanding, because it's hard when you are putting yourself in the public eye and saying that we all know to be self-evidently true that women are human, adult, biological females. It's a fact. And we have legal and social and economic rights that flow from that we are not giving up. Thank you very much. But we do have sections of your own party who will persecute you, and we've heard some fabulous speakers today who know that they've already gone through that in other parties. You will be persecuted. It's happening to me right now on the ground, and if it wasn't for the support of my sisters locally, who are right with me here today, Mary, you're a doll. You are, we won't be able to carry on this fight until you are right. So
So give them a break if you need a wee bit of coaxing, but at the end of the day, you need to ask the
baby
question
turf
and you
there.
need to answer. So I'm going to say thank you, enjoy the rest of the day. Women in Wish, I love you all, see you later.
Hi sisters and honorary sisters. My name is Susan Dalgetty. I write for the Scotsman on a Saturday. I used to be like Alison, I used to be a politician. You get more, the Scotsman's a better platform. Anyway, 50 years ago, nearly 50 years ago, in the spring of 1972, the Women's Liberation Movement in Scotland organised its first national conference in Glasgow, here, just up the road. Today, you are rekindling that spirit of those women 50 years ago. But first, I think we should pay tribute to the women who got us here today, to First Women Scotland and our warrior Queen Marion Miller. To MBM, Lucy, Kath and Lisa, our very own Brains Trust. Our political sisters, some of us may disagree on borders and constitution, but on women's issues, we are one.
Hello. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm glad that's over.
Hot.
I mean, yeah, wonderful.
Brilliant speech.
Oh yeah, I mean, wonderful, yes.
You had them in the palm of your hand.
Did I?
It was wonderful, yeah.
I just thought, they said they wanted rousing.
Yeah.
Right, I'll rouse them up.
Yeah.
Rouse them up. Yeah.
Can you hold that a minute? I need to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
something out of
sure.
my bag.
Gender ideology to the daylight of the Thank you. Sisters who can't be here today. Sisters, we're on the march again. Many of you will be reading Helen Joyce's powerful new book, When Ideology Meets Reality. In it, she says gender ideology argues that women are limitless and formless. If that's true, then they have no political demands. But sisters, we are not limitless, nor are we formless. We are not a subset. We do not self-identify as women. We were born female. We are proud of our sex. We say no to the label of cis. We say no. We say no to the destruction of evidence-based policy making with credible science-based.
Lady with a flag over there. Hey! Oh, wee baby!
50 years ago, our sisters made to discuss issues that matter to women and girls. Violence against women, the right to choose, economic equality, and an end to the patriarchal attitudes that had oppressed us since women first stood up to war. Sisters, we have made progress, but we did not smash the patriarchy. It's just self-ID'd itself into a throat with a slash But we're ready for we will fight self-ID. We will campaign against men and women and girls' safe spaces and sport. We will stand shoulder to shoulder with Marion Miller. We will organise just as our sisters did over 100 years ago, over 50 years ago. And like J.K. Rowling, we won't let violent threats and intimidation stop us. Because sisters, we are strong, we are invincible, we are women.
Hello, I'm Cozy Parker. A couple of years ago, I first came to prominence because I was interviewed by the police in England, and you wouldn't have thought it could have got any worse, and then Scotland, who just said, hold my beer, and intimidated a mother and all women alongside her, because without intimidating one woman, you can't really intimidate all of us. I want to talk about two things. One is silence, and one is division. And both of those things are an enemy to women's rights. What we have to do, and the lovely Katie who's here today talked about it at Speaker's Corner down in London, is you just have to talk to other women. You have to see the woman in front of you as a woman and nothing more. She's not a political party. She's not an opinion. She's a woman. She's the embodiment of everything that you are, whether you like it or not. And so your silence, when you're silent, when somebody tells you of a child transitioning and you think that you can't speak, you are actually enabling that abuse to that child. When you're invited into an inclusion and diversity, what awful words, meeting at work, and you're going to be educated into the ways of erasing your own rights, your silence paves the way for the erasure of your rights. When you see the woman in front of you and you decide that her opinion on, I'm not going to name it in Scotland, but her opinion on maybe the most divisive issues you see before you, if that is more important than your rights, then you are contributing to your own erasure. It's that simple. You have to just reach your hands across the aisle and you have to join together, because together women are just incredible. We literally give life to other humans. We literally stand in the way of abuse to children and other women. We are all pretty damn amazing. And that's how you have to start seeing. You have to think women's rights are enough to forego everything else, time and time and time again. So my final point is, please don't stay silent. And please don't add to the division, because that's simply what men in dresses want.
Hello everybody, I'm here from LGB Alliance. I'd like to say a very big hello to everybody who's greeted me so far, especially those who said, "Hi Bev." Bev sends her greetings from Amsterdam. I'm Kate. Hi Glasgow! The problem is Bev and I have been working side by side for 2 years this month to get LGB Alliance up and running. We practically finish each other's sentence. So you can call me what you like, as long as you do what all the other speakers have said so far, which is to speak up. First of all, I just want to name a couple of names. I want to thank anybody in For Women Scotland or around that area called Marion. None of us can believe what's happened to Marion Miller, but having said that, each day I go to bed and I think, what is going to happen tomorrow? And it does. And still we haven't tipped the balance, and if we don't tip the balance, we are in serious trouble, believe me. I want to thank Marion Calder, who has welcomed us into the breast of For Women Scotland. LGBT Alliance Fairly is Rona Hotchkiss sends her regards. Far too busy doing something terribly important in God knows where. And Malcolm Clark has the, what is the word when you're, temerity. He has the temerity to be earning his living today. However, they wouldn't forgive me if I didn't say that they would have loved to be here, and we are with you. I also have a personal message from LGB Alliance to a woman called J.K. Rowling. We now have 15 groups around the world who have sprouted up like mushrooms, from Spain to Mexico to Australia to Iceland, LGB Alliance, all of them. And so many of them, when we ask them what happened, they just simply say, J.K. Rowling. She is one of the bravest women I have ever come across. Sadly, I haven't met her yet, but if I had, I would fall to my knees. She has personally effected more change, probably, and rather sad to say, than all of us put together and all the women's groups. So, to mention by name is Joanna Cherry. Now, you look at Joanna Cherry and you look at J.K. Rowling, these are two women who will go down in history as some of the bravest, brightest, most brilliant women we have seen in the 20th and 21st centuries. They are being threatened with rape, murder, every day of the week. Can you tell me how many MPs or blue ticks on Twitter have condemned this behaviour? And yet we see people falling over themselves to quite rightly condemn the hideous racism against our poor penalty takers. I don't see why they can't speak up. Could it possibly be because they're women? So we say to J.K. Rowling and we say to Joanna Cherry and every single woman who puts herself out there, we're with you, we support you, we will always stand by you. Just very briefly, we know we cannot be silenced. In our particular case at LGB Alliance, we launched with a famous tweet from Alison Bailey on the 22nd of October 2019. We weren't ready to be launched, we didn't have a name, but suddenly we were a thing. And from the 23rd of October 2019 until today, our critics have done everything they can in a war of attrition to destroy us. That war is continuing. Mermaids have lodged an appeal to have our charitable status removed. We got our charitable status in April 2021 after an extremely difficult and detailed process with the Charity Commission, and now Mermaids, with the support of Jolie and Mom and four or five other LGBTQIA plus charities, they want to have us struck off the charity register. So that case will be coming up between the end of August and September the 17th. We welcome your support on Twitter or wherever you can to say, excuse me, just what is going on here? And finally, we, LGB Alliance, have our first huge, all-dazzling, all-star conference in London, on the 21st of October 2021. We still have early bird tickets available. Sign up now. We haven't announced the speakers or the venue, which is why it's so surprising that we've sold so many tickets. But it is going to be a cracker. I encourage you to come. And the motto of our conference applies to this organisation, our organisation, and every organisation and individual who is standing up for biological reality, same-sex attraction, and the protection of children from medicalisation. Our simple motto is, here to stay.
Fabulous women of Glasgow! And the various men, you can't tell which is which these days, can you? Let's see. Fabulous women of Glasgow, we all stand in solidarity with Marion Miller, with Marion, I don't even know her surname, it's For Women Scott, I think, and with all of you who've organised this fantastic event. Whoever had a word with whoever organised the weather, even better. It's absolutely wonderful. I'm so moved by, and it's just really wonderful, and I really hope that this will help get you this hot sunny day will help get you through some of the long dark nights that I'm sure you've all had up here. Unlike a lot of you, I'm not on Twitter, I don't do that, so I know from what's been said things can kind of come as a bit of a shock. Every day you think, it reminds me of the words in King Lear, the worst is not as long as we can say this is the worst, and things get worse and worse. And when I saw what Marion had tweeted, a picture of a photo of the suffragette colours, a ribbon through a fence.
I'm going to go on next. Can you film? Can you come to the forward and film me when I'm on?
I was absolutely gobsmacked. I also have to say, I was a little tiny bit inspired. And although you all say women won't wish, you might actually wish. You might want me to wish. You might want me to wish when I've finished this. But this is going to carbon date a few of us. But this is what I was inspired to come up with. The year is 2021, and you won't believe, my friends, what's going on. They're passing legislation that will see you land in jail for stating simple facts. You know it's quite beyond the pale. It's quite beyond the pale. Oh, tie a purple ribbon round that old tree with some green and white for our liberty. The colours of the suffragettes are women's legacy. There's never a doubt we're gonna speak out until we all are free. So tie a purple ribbon round that old tree. Tie a ribbon round the old tree.
Hello, I'm DJ Lipper. Firstly, I'd like to thank Kelly J for bringing me up here, all the women who helped to put this event on today, and all of you for coming to Scotland. Usually when I come to these things, I just rely on my northern charm, and because I'm in London, I can just say anything and they're like, oh, that's good. But I've come up to Scotland and you're like the northerners. So I thought I'd write a speech, but actually before I do, I'm just going to say, because I'm coming up, maybe you don't know me, I get to do my jokes, because they've heard them all down there. So, what's a Radfem's favourite fruit?
That's my joke.
A mango! Right, I'll get on with my speech now. Right, George Orwell didn't say this, but like, let's pretend that he did. It's like, it's on point. So it goes, those that control the language control the narrative, and those that control the narrative control the future. I think we need to take back control to name reality in its most basic terms. Trans women are men, and trans men are women. I'm not trying to antagonise or stir you all up. There is a reason why I'm rejecting their language. I call trans women men because there are women now in Scotland forced to share cells with rapists. Yes. And when they call men men, they can be dismissed by the governor and called a bigot. I call a man for the rape victim who's watching her words in court, re-traumatised time and again by the legal establishment, and a bench book which says she's motivated by hate if she doesn't play along. Yeah. I use these words to open up the debate to working class women on a council estate who haven't got a degree in who haven't got a gender studies degree. Should they be able to say what they see? Yes. I call trans women men because that is what they are, adult human males. And this is a belief worthy of respect in a democratic society. Yes. No more mincing our words. We need to be clear. What is the problem here? Men in women's prisons, men in women's sport, men and their dicks flashing in spas where we deserve to feel safe. I am not motivated by hate when I say this. And to paraphrase the mighty Magdalene Burns, it's not hateful to speak the truth, and it's not hateful to defend your rights. Katie! Thank you.
hello. I suddenly realised I didn't introduce myself at the beginning, but hey. I'm Marion Calder for Women's Scotland. I co-founded For Women's Scotland 3 years ago, almost bang on, with my co-director Trina Budge, who's somewhere in the background hiding probably, Magdalene Burns and Nicole Jones. Those 3 years have gone by in an absolute flash. It started off in my living room with 4 women, and they're 4 women Scotland. Yeah, see, it works. And now looking around, there are all these amazing women, of which some of you have come to know incredibly well throughout this. The sisterhood is strong, and we support each other. It's been an absolutely amazing experience, but this is just the start. This is the start. I mean, now that we're not hiding in living rooms, we're not hiding in kind of in hotel spaces where we have to hire security to actually kind of meet in the first place. We are out, we are loud, and we are actually proud to actually be women. It is our name, women, adult, human, female. We will not let this go. It is ours. We will defend the spaces, single-sex spaces that our previous women, are the previous women in the 70s, the 60s, right back into the suffragette time, that fought for our rights. We are not about to let it go, not on our watch, and not for the future generations of women to come, for our daughters, our granddaughters, and subsequent generations. We will fight this. We will not. This is just the beginning. So thank you all for being part of this. I don't know where Trina is. She always hides. Trina? Where is she? Can anyone spot Trina? It's like kind of... Right, so I'd like to just bring Trina to the stage, because it's normally myself or my co-director Susan, who's currently on holiday on South. Helpful, Susan. But this is Trina, who rarely makes it onto camera. But there's a heck of the organisation and the hard work behind the scenes.
That was a really good speech. Thank you. Thank you. It's nice and cool under here. So hot today. Some women just having a little picnic here, watching the speeches.
I'll come back to you in a bit.
It's a dog, and he's just seen another dog. So.
Someone to my left-hand side, Mr. Menno.
Hello. Hi, you live on Make More Noise?
Hello.
This is the indomitable Kira Bell.
Hello. How
Hi,
you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, no, good. Just showed up, so I'm checking out who's up and speaking. So good. So far, so good. Yeah.
Great turnout.
Yeah, great turnout.
Yeah. No trouble?
No trouble. No.
Yeah.
So far. Nice speech. Hello.
But the goals were in the bag. So when I was about 7 or 8, I was in this hospital.
Hello. Speech, Ron. Did you like it?
Yeah, it was sick.
I might have to write speeches down more. I've got it wrong a little bit. No, it's wicked. I should go and film speeches, but it's so hot. I'm just trying to chill myself out a little bit, because I'm gonna get heat stroke.
Yeah.
But
got my sun cream as well.
I think Posey's got some. Somebody will have some.
Yeah.
But this is the USP, because everybody else has better systems and they can film the speeches and make them look really good.
Oh, okay.
But I want to go into the audience and see who's there. That's
your
as
thing
interesting.
anyway, isn't it?
So it's the unique selling position. When all you got is your camera, you got to think out the box, aren't you?
So you're and if there's something going on, you're in it as well.
But also Linda's husband is absolutely nuts. So the other day I saw some footage of women in Iran who just for one day wanted the freedom to not cover their head. And the footage I saw is them getting abused, public transport.
She's filming.
And then kicking them.
Yeah, she got all the photo get down.
Yeah.
But where's the
So this woman's been wandering around talking to people. Hello. Is your duty to go around to like the people watching and give them out leaflets and explain what's happening?
Try and get an idea of who maybe needs one. You're not filming me now, are you?
Sorry, do you want me to film?
I'll put it. That fucking good.
Yeah.
I think I just want to get people who are maybe not sure about it and people stopping, people passing. I've had a number of people taking leaflets and saying they didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, and a lot of it is, you know, it's the Denton playbook, isn't it? Keep everybody in the dark, and then, you know, they change all the laws, and then suddenly everybody's like, what?
Yeah. I had a man and a woman not long ago over there telling me I'm a transphobic bigot. The man said to the woman, there's a woman, that's not what I say. I said, look, I know what you are, you're a man, you don't know what we are. You're just a bigot, you're just a hater, you're a transphobic bigot. And she went, move away from me. Come on, get away from me. I said, stand over here, I'll get the police, there they are. So she called me a bigot, walked away, the police went to her.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Especially again, as we have been with the week. There's one particular person I want to thank. Her name is Joey Bright.
I'm sorry, dear viewers. If you do want to see the speeches, I suggest you log on the For Women Scotland or Posy Parker's Standing for Women website, because it's just too hot. I can't go out there anymore. I think I might collapse.
So Joey, thank you, because she's really reached out and taught me a lot. So women, keep fighting. Marion said to me yesterday, this is the hill I will die on. I will be on that hill with you. The only thing is, we're not going to die on that hill. We might lose our jobs on that hill. We might get suspended on Twitter. Fuck you on that hill. We might meet
pigeons
on that hill and kick them down.
They know what male and female is, don't they?
High as we will be when we get to the point, we're going to link our hands together, we're going to raise them up to the sky and say, thanks, fuck, that's over! Have an amazing day, and as Megan said, keep fighting!
Can I have some of that, please, Izzy? Don't worry, dear viewers, I'm getting some food crush, so I won't collapse. Thank you.
So let's put the blame and let's put pressure on the government, on Nicola Sturgeon. Then let's do her fingertips for betraying women's rights, betraying the last generations of women in the past.
Oh, I like her outfit. Have you seen that one?
For what she's doing to Scottish women. Scottish women are living in fear. We are frightened to speak out. I am frightened to speak out because Nicola Sturgeon's government. So what we have to do is obviously political pressure and the kind of elections that are coming in May.
I'm good. See you. So do
So we need councillors that will defend women's rights and hopefully behind that is does not matter what party they are with. You question your
Oh, little baby. Shouldn't film the baby, but very, very cute baby. Mr. Hayton over there.
Do not get our vote. She first energized women. That's why she's a threat to them. And they're using
her as an example to us all. If you don't be quiet, if you don't shut up, if you accept your right to be moved, don't accept
Hello, how are you?
Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Many more women than I expected to be here.
Yeah, I was thinking there might be like 20 of us at the end of it. And look at that good doggy over there. Gorgeous doggy. So I'm mainly going around filming everybody's dogs.
Yeah, that's quite right.
That's what people are really interested in today, isn't it?
A women's picnic the other day and you had 5 dogs there, so it was wonderful. That's what I come to picnics for.
Yes. There you go, you can see a lovely picnic atmosphere. Hello! You live on Make More Noise? DJ Lipper? Yeah. Is she coming up? Okay. Hi, Elle! Well, great turnout today, isn't it? Definitely, yeah. I mean, easy. She was a good doggy. Couple of fellas on the bikes here. There's just some people over there. I don't know if they know what's going on here. They look like they're just going, what's going on here?
Before she reads, the poet apologises. The next poem has, whisper it softly, a vagina in it. And I'm wondering why the utterance of that softly vibrating and opening
Handmaids here.
Before that juicily squelching central on its heels a cry of drop into a morning and then the grand finale, the climactic, the lip-parted gasp of would offend.
Great speech. Bev.
I've done it. Yeah, you too. I like your speech afterwards. It's good to have just a complete range of different people.
Yeah. And it's because I always do the one in London. So you sort of you see the same faces, new people, but it feels like a little bit of a different political climate because it's a totally different country, really, isn't it? So, yeah.
There's no protesters at all.
No.
That's good. They're drifty, aren't they?
Yeah. Should we get a picture, Bev?
When you're about to read a poem with a vagina in it, don't
Sorry, I feel like I'm just going around in circles now with all these people. You've seen everybody now, haven't you? Turn this off a little bit, just a little chill.
That his mother shares my views. My publisher is going to reprint my poetry collection that came out 21 years ago called Wild Women of a Certain Age. And let's face it wouldn't sound the same if it did not say Wild Women of a Certain Age. And this is the title poem.
The poetry collection, this is the first announcement of it, will be out in its new form in October. My sisters, the time has come to let your hair grow long and wild and grey, to cast away the heated rollers and the tongs. So when the moon is 9 months full, let us meet out on our lawns, let us burn our dyed sheets, let us pound our bathroom scales to heaps of rusting springs. Let us shred our measuring tapes, our firmer buttock DVDs, let us burn an effigy of Cher, let us tip our iTunes down the pan, let us revel in our pink plump ripeness, let us flaunt our sketchbooks like shining honours. Let us celebrate ourselves before the can. That was
One of the ladies gave you some random people giving her How are you doing?
Tongues have tasted good and evil, lips that have sipped fine wines, fingers that have stroked. We have been the carriers of babes. Our bellies have swollen with grumbling curse. Our breasts have hung like ripened fruit. Our teeth have bitten skin and threads. We have swallowed bitter pills. We have known dark bloodstains on our hands. We have been the carriers of laughter and of pain, the healers of our children's ills. We have lain below the stars. We have lain below our men. Yes, sisters, now the time has come to claim our bodies for ourselves. For in our silver hair, our well-filled thighs, in those laughter lines that crowd our thighs, we live, we are alive. Thank you.
Right, I'm gonna sign off because it's too hot, and you get the gist. If you want to carry on watching, switch over to the Standing for Women YouTube. I think for Following Scotland are also doing one. So if you want to see more, unless just randomly wandering around like what I'm doing, then tune over to there. And yeah, we'll see you later. How do I turn this thing off? Right, hang on. Stop. Professional here, innit?